Okay, good evening, everyone in Asia, and good morning to Miss Soumya in the UK. Welcome to our online web info meeting for tonight, where we focus on the pre-master program and pre-PhD program in the UK. So in this info meeting, we are very excited to have Miss Soumya here with us, our UK program director for all of the campuses, including UK and Ireland, also overseeing all of the programs such as the foundation program, pre-master program, and pre-PhD program in the UK. So we are very lucky to have Ms. Soumya with us and also the whole Asia with us. Today, we will have students coming from Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So what we are going to do today is that we will have our info meeting. Afterwards, we will have a Q&A section for everyone to raise your questions. After that, we will also have a breakout room for each country, including, so you can ask questions in your own native language, and your program consultant will also be here to answer to your questions. So I would like to ask everyone here in the meeting to change your name accordingly, such as the example I've set out in the chat box. You can put out your name with your country next to your name, so we can know who is belong to which market, and it's easier for us to answer your question accordingly. Let's just begin, and good evening, everyone. So before we start, I would like to introduce you to our EF. What is EF and who are we? EF module is to opening the world for education. We have around 60 years of history, and we are having our 60th anniversary next year in 2025. We have preparation program for university pathway in over 7 countries, and today we will be looking into UK and Ireland. So EF was founded in 1965 as a language school, and we are proudly having over 50 campuses all around the globe. And we are having all kinds of languages courses, including exam preparation, internship, etc., etc. And we now today are looking into the university preparation program. In the UK, we offer the UP program, University Preparation Program, in 2 campuses, including Manchester and Oxford. Miss Soumya, so it's a good time for us to hear about yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Soumya Krishnamurthy, and I'm the program director for UK and Ireland. I have been in EFUP since 2011, so I have helped a lot of students get to the university of their dreams. I'm also the mentor for all pre-PhD students, and hence I help them with their funding application, with their academic application and proposal, which we'll come to in detail. I manage most of the programs, so I oversee the syllabus writing, and hence I will be the one who's giving you a lot of the academic information today. Thanks, Haya.
Yeah. So, yeah, please.
Carry on, Haya. Sorry.
Yeah. So the difference of the master program today that we're looking into are the top masters and the research master, which we call MPhil. So in the UK, we are mainly looking at 2 different types of master, which is a top master. Top master is a continuation of a bachelor degree, and they are mainly of a duration of 1 year. And the top master, we will have a specific program and specific topic that you would like to go into. For example, when you are studying a BBA in your own country, you can also study about the business law or taxation in your specific specialized master degree. And for a research master, which we call MPhil, is a beginning of your PhD program. So usually we bring a question, the research area that you would be looking into while you were in a MPhil. Is there anything would you like to add, Miss Soumya?
As Haya said, in the UK, we have a very clear distinction in the terms of credits, modules, the length of the thesis as well, when you do a taught master's versus a research master's. Most students who apply to the UK, they go for a taught master's. Only students who might want to progress to a PhD would do a research master's. When you are asking about more information, please specify which one you are interested in. Thanks, Haya.
So what were the requirement for the master degree in UK?
The master's degree in the UK is actually extremely interesting because we have so many options. I mean, when I visit universities, I ask them about subject modules, and it's impressive how much choice we have in the UK. If you are looking at like top universities, you need at least GPA of 3.5. But we can find an option for everyone. And I tell students, you have a choice of many universities, and it doesn't take more than 15 minutes to do an application. Even if your GPA is low, please apply. You don't know. Maybe they'll have something in your personal statement, in the extracurricular activities, in some work experience you have done. We have placed students with work experience who have lower GPA. Please apply to all universities. If you have less than a second-class degree, I would say then you have to be very, very careful with your choices. But otherwise, please apply. We do need GRE or GMAT in some cases, but I want to highlight, Haya, that we don't need it for all universities, only for top universities. Especially GRE in the UK is not used so much. We've kept it on the slide in case you're thinking of doing it. We can get you into a university even if you don't have a GMAT. But of course, if you want to go to like Warwick, or you want to go to like Imperial, or you want to go to like big business schools, you do need GMAT. English, again, varies widely. The minimum is 6 for most universities. However, if you are targeting a top-ranked university, you're looking at 6.5 to 7. And I was at university yesterday, and I was speaking to people from QS who said that this is a bit misleading because students think, if I have 6.5, this is enough. But actually, the better your English is, the more you will gain from your degree. And this is why one of the reasons university preparation is so handy. You actually get to the point where you are able to participate in your lectures and seminars, you're able to ask questions, and so on. It's not just about getting the minimum, it's getting the best preparation that you can, because it's a lot of investment and we want to be as best prepared as possible. Of course, many universities, they accept IELTS equivalents like TOEFL, like Pearson test of English. Again, if you have done other tests, please let us know. Haya, can we go to the next slide? As I said in the previous slide, work experience. If you have work experience, it will add a lot to your application. First, you can get a recommendation letter from your previous employer. Of course, we provide you with a reference when you come to our program, but having work experience, you can get one from your employer. Otherwise, you will be getting one from your teacher, professor, lecturer in your previous bachelor's degree. If you're doing an MBA and you want to go to a really good university, work experience is not an option. I would say you must get at least 2 years of work experience before you want to do an MBA. And the last is anything you have done in your life in addition to academics. Extremely important in the UK. I was speaking to a dean of medicine, and he said actually that last year for 10 places, they had 280 applicants. And the way they took the final decision was by going through the personal statement. The next slide, please. Here is where you will be helped a lot by the staff in our schools. We are really good at helping you to prepare the best possible personal statement. This academics are grades. You have received it in bachelor's degree, you can't change it. Experience you either have or you don't have. But your personal statement is the one place you can market yourself. Usually it is one side of A4. Some universities say only 250 words, the average is 500. But this is where you show your passion, your achievements. What have you done? Which club have you taken part in? What has that taught you? Have you played any sport? Have you played any musical instrument? How will you contribute as an international student to the life and culture of the university? Extremely important, and here we can help you a lot. Because as Haya knows, two students who have the same qualification, the personal statement decides. So very, very important. Next slide, please. Here, what is a pre-master's program? I gave a few hints. Let's go in detail. So pre-master's program is for students who have not yet quite met the academic requirements or the entry requirements. It could be English, but it could also be research skills. It could be writing essays. You have never studied abroad and hence you are not familiar with how best to get the experience fruitful. And more than that, you want personalized support for your applications, especially if you are applying for top-ranked universities. It is worth taking the time to create the best possible applications. This year especially, two of my best students have gone to Edinburgh, and both of them said what helped them was that we could spend so much time one-to-one speaking to each other. So I could understand the student and help them with their application. The next slide, please. The addition that we have is that you come with your bachelor's degree to us. We will help you improve your English, get to the level that is needed where you can comfortably communicate in the UK in English. You can get better academic grades. You can improve your academics. And then you have personalized support to apply to at least 3, but I say apply to 5, 6. Last year, a student applied to 12 universities. I say that is overkill because in the end, he only wanted to go to Manchester, but he wanted to collect all the entrance requirements and the letters. Why not? We also help you to progress till the end. So if you need any help with your visas or CAS or communicate with the universities, right now we have a student who's got into university but needs help with the rest of the process. We are here to help you. So overall, we are here to help launch your dream career after graduation. The next slide, please. Why EF? EF is the world leader in education. We have 60 years of experience and we are everywhere in the world. Whenever I go and speak to universities, it's very rare. They don't know what EF is and where we are, which is very, very nice for me. We have outstanding campuses. Our teachers are very, very experienced in what they do. Another advantage of EF is we have students from everywhere in the world. We are a very cozy, diverse atmosphere, like a mini UN. Your classmates could come from any country around the world, and there is an osmosis where you learn from each other, not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom by doing social activities. Of course, you will improve. Sorry, can I go back to the previous slide, please, Haya? One thing I want to highlight here is the main thing is not just your academic skills. I don't want you to only think you'll come here and you'll sit in a classroom, you will learn. No, this is way more than that. We are able to give people change when they join the course. And that's why we love what you do. So next slide here is that we are not here to just help you get into the university. Without EF, yeah, you can get in. If you apply, you may get in. But then we are here to help you to enjoy your university degree and to successfully complete your degree, to get the best grade possible. And that is what EF is about. Let's say that you don't know what you want to study yet and you need support and you need advice on which major you want to study. We are here to help you decide that. You have difficulties in class participation and social interactions. Big problem for Asian students. Every time I go even to universities, this is what I hear. Because in Asia, we don't have the culture of talking in class, shouting, debating, finding the best solution, collaborating with our teammates and all that. We are here to help you to get over this fear and develop more confidence. Before you start university, if you come to the pre-masters program, you will get over the culture shock. So that when you start university, you are absolutely ready to start your degree. Our learning styles and academic expectations are very different. We are an experiential learning focused course, which means you'll be doing a lot of your own work in the classroom, supported a lot by your tutors. We help you to develop and improve your research skills, especially for master students, extremely important because you do need to have very good research skills. When we say critical thinking, it goes more than just being able to analyze and evaluate data and information, which is extremely important today. It's also about being to convince somebody else about your point of view via writing, which we don't do enough in bachelor's degree. The thesis writing is an extremely important part of master's. We help you to practice that. As I said before, there is a lot of collaboration and you will develop better presentation and speaking skills. And in every module, you'll be writing essays. You'll be a pro at essay writing. I can tell you the students who come to us, they go to university and then they come back and tell us that even the home students, they were asking support from our students because our students were so good at writing essays. And last, Haya, as she knows, we are very good when you don't have enough time and you need support to plan, to process the administrative requirements. Especially in Hong Kong, you have a very good team, but also in Vietnam, in Indonesia, I work with them and I can tell you that you'll be in very good hands. The next slide, please. EF, as I said, is life-changing. You come to our classroom, you meet students from around the world, and you become a global citizen. Hence, you will take all that to define your own individual path with a lot of support and one-to-one guidance from our tutors. The possibilities are endless. We combine language learning with academic achievement and application support. So we discuss with you for the best possible application and university for you. I'll come to that in the next slides. And the goal is to transform your dream into reality. What do we mean by the best university for you? When you're abroad, it is even I went through this because I was an international student at one point 20 years ago. We tend to think ranking is everything. But what ranking do we mean? Do we mean ranking of teaching? Do we mean ranking in graduate prospects? What do we mean by graduate prospects? Which ranking are we looking at? Are we looking at Guardian, Complete Times Education? It's very confusing. And think about what kind of university do you want to be in? Do you want to be in London? Do you want to be outside? Do you want to be in a campus? What is it that you're looking for? A small or a big university? What other activities do you want to have in your campus? So our advice sits through the students. We have advisors who will go through each of these in detail. We will explain what is UniStats and why should you look at it? What is the teaching framework? If you're doing a taught masters, especially, this becomes extremely important. You want to make sure that not only is the research good at the university, but the teaching is good too. And last but not the least, we try to find you a university which fits in your budget, whether it's living cost or tuition. And our students receive scholarships, another point. So basically, we are here to look at all of this holistically and provide advice, which is the best university for you. So not just going through a list of like top 100 and say this. Our students get a competitive advantage when they come to us. Good education. So we discussed your strength and how you can enhance them. One of my best students is today running a very successful company in Singapore. And I remember that he had free time and I asked him to learn programming 10 years ago. Today, he's running a company which is entirely based on programming, and he has already worked in Facebook and Google. Great resume. You become fluent in English. As I said, it's not just about getting an IELTS score. It's being able to participate, gain the best out of your experience, to be really proficient in English and fluent when you speak. You will experience life abroad. And as I said, especially in EF, you have students from around the world in a very, very closely and controlled atmosphere, which means you become independent and open-minded. Of course, if you're a UP student, the focus is on academic skills. You will also find a lot of extra knowledge. Our teachers are here to help you bridge gaps in understanding. Maybe you have studied a subject, but you miss deep knowledge in a certain specific area. We help you to bridge those gaps. And last, as I said, interpersonal and intercultural skills, extremely important today in the modern world because we all work with people from every country. So that's a big advantage of having come to EF and then going to university. When you go to university, you're no longer trying to adapt. You're already adapted and ready to start. Next slide, please, Haya. So let's go now into a little bit more of detail on how the curriculum looks. You will be with us for 6 months, 2 terms. Before you come, we ask that you have a bachelor's degree. Should it be in the same field that you're going to do your master's? Not necessarily. We have students who studied psychology and then want to do computer science, or who studied education and then want to study history. We can help you by creating the best personal statement to do so, and speaking and collaborating with our partner universities that you are able to break up any subject matter required. You are able to acquire the skills and build up any gaps. Of course, language is an extremely important part. We need to have IELTS 5.5 or equivalent. The good news for pre-masters and pre-PhD students is you can take our free language test, the FSET. You can do it at home, and based on that, we can gain admission, so you don't have to take IELTS if you have not taken it. We have 3 intakes in January, in April, and in September. What will you do once you come to our program? In term 1, we focus a lot on language, whether it is essay writing with English for academic purposes, reading articles, academic articles, how to break that down into an essay, an argument, critically, logistically, so that you evaluate what you read. Extremely important for masters. And we also have personal and professional development, where you learn to work with others, to give presentations, take part in seminars, and so on. In term 2, we focus less on language. You will do IELTS preparation, but you have already gained the foundation in term 1. You'll write the IELTS. Here, we focus much more on skill building, as I said, much more research methods, critical reasoning, argumentation, and so on. Throughout the terms of your 6 months, you will get a lot of support in application writing. We will be there with you, guiding you through applications, getting offers, speaking to universities on your behalf throughout the 2 terms. The pre-PhD is slightly different in the sense that pre-PhD students will be very, very focused on their proposal. So what do I mean? You may have an idea for a PhD, but you have to convert that idea into a proposal that is accepted by universities in the UK, which is the biggest hurdle. Once you have the proposal, you will then contact supervisors, apply for funding if you don't have funding, and so on. So we help you through that. Just to focus again on what we give you, of course, there's the intellectual skills, and we undertake research, we collect primary data, do statistical analysis, and so on, so that you know how to present what you have discovered. Practical skills as well, how to critically apply the knowledge that you gain and present it. Investigate academic issues. We are also going to help you to do this with a very good proficiency in English. Finally, as I said, there's a personal and social aspect, whether it is note-taking, whether it is presentation, writing a report, understanding how to write references. I have students who come for pre-PhD and who are not sure how to write references. Again, it's about learning, and we are here to help you. We will help you to optimize your choice, your performance, and the quality of what you write. Next slide, please, Haya. I want to focus a little bit here on the pre-doctoral thesis proposal presentation as a preparation, as I said. Pre-doctoral students, I don't know if there are many pre-PhD students here. They have their 6 months is mostly getting a proposal ready, contacting supervisors. We will support you with the universities and the supervisors, but this is extremely independent. We cannot write the proposal for a student because it's a student's individual idea, but we are here to help you, to speak to you through developing the right research question, going through your hypothesis, your methodology, your literature review. Are you able to explain to me what you want to do so that you develop it and get the presentation skills? We also want to then see, are you able to visualize how you are going to present your data? Do you have the necessary statistical information that is needed, the background to infer and describe the statistics that you come out with your primary research? And last is you have to present your proposal to a panel. So we will be sitting there listening to you, and you have to convince us about your idea before you go out and you speak to the supervisors. So this is the biggest part of the pre-doctoral thesis preparation. And we have successfully helped students come to us and then be ready for the next step, which is applying to universities, getting the supervisor, and starting your PhD. Next slide, please. Some of my favorite students, I have to say, is Jasmine. Thank you, Shelley, for sending her. Amazing student, very positive, friendly with everyone. She took part in everything. And she has now joined the University of Glasgow, which is her first choice. We don't say you should only go to our partner universities. We support you in applications to all universities. She wanted to study in Glasgow for the conversion course, and she's very happy there. We have also helped students get into the University of Warwick for MBA. We have helped a student get into LSE to study subjects related to women in the society. We have helped many students get into Manchester, the University of Bath, and many, many top universities, especially from Asia. We have a lot of good stories. As I said, my two best students last 2 years ago were from Asia. Here is a testimonial from Federico. He came to us, had no idea what he wanted, didn't have the GMAT, didn't know what he wanted from his life. Honestly, his life story was so inspiring for all of us because he wanted to go to a top ranked university and he worked really hard for that. And I'm very glad to tell you that he is now very happy at Warwick doing their MBA. I'm sure we have a video as well, Haya, if you would like to share. We have in the past placed students at Cambridge University as well because our PhD program used to run in Cambridge. It now runs in Manchester. And her big thing was research, integrating into the local culture, understanding how tutorials work, because in Cambridge, especially, tutorials are a very big part of your student life. And of course, she also improved a lot in her research skills. Not that she didn't have research skills, but then she was able to understand how to use research skills in the UK. So again, really good feedback we have from Vinny. Next slide. Do we have others? There are so many. I mean, if I have to think back to all the pre-master students, and I'm in touch with a lot of them, you can speak to the office, get our previous students' testimonials, and learn from their stories. I'm going to hand over back to Haya to introduce you to the campuses.
Okay, so we will now look into our campuses in the UK, and we will have a Q&A section afterwards. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to put it in the chat box, and we can all have Soumya to answer one by one. So why study in the UK, and one of the top reason for our student to go to the UK and why is it so popular? It's because of the prestigious education. So in terms of business, you have a wide range of business school in the UK, from the highest ranking into the middle ranking university. And we also have a very specialized major in all kinds of field. So you can also go into the details of geosciences, you can go into sustainability and business sciences, etc., etc. And it's also quicker in terms of the length of your course. Usually in Germany, USA, etc., you will have a 2-year duration master degree, while in the UK, you will have 1-year duration of your master degree. While you were studying at the university on your student visa, you can work up to 20 hours per week during your study. And you can also stay in the UK with your own country's post-graduation route visas, such as in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we have the BNO visa. So as mentioned before, we have 2 campuses in the UK that offers the university preparation program, and we are here to go through them one by one. So we have 2 campuses. One of them are in Manchester. Manchester campus are opened recently and is a new destination for everyone who would like to live in the middle of the UK. So Manchester is a very vibrant city with an industrial background. We have a very indie and young city. It's a university city, and you have loads and loads of international students in Manchester. It's a very safe city. Our UEF campus is in the middle of the city. It's easy to get around, and it's also cheap to get your groceries, and day-to-day living costs are quite low. Our campus is a Victorian building, around 4-story tall, and we also have specific classroom for our pre-masters and pre-PhD student. One thing to highlight for pre-PhD student, we only offer pre-PhD program in Manchester in the academic year of 2025, and you can talk to your program consultant to pick your favorite city to study at. We offer both pre-masters in in Manchester and Oxford. So this is an overlook of our classrooms, etc. And in Oxford. So in Oxford, we have a on-campus residence. So we have a very charming city. This is one of the biggest tourist city in the UK. It's a lovely town. It's easy to get around. It's also easy to get to the city center. We are around 30 minutes walk from the city center. We also have a very beautiful campus which have renovated I think a couple of years ago. We also have a cafeteria and a on-campus residence where you can live on campus next to a few minutes to your classroom. So at EF, we covered your accommodation and your meals, where in Manchester, you can choose to stay at residence, which is off campus, and at host family. And meanwhile, at Oxford, you can choose to stay on campus, which is in the same area with your classroom, and meals are also provided. Of course, you can also choose to stay at our host family. EF, we take care all the administrative stuff and visas for you. So for one thing to highlight, for our pre-masters and pre-PhD program, there is no need to apply for a student visa, and you can enter the UK with your own country's visitor visa. So I know we have a lot of information, and I think we can open the floor for questions. I know that everyone has a lot of questions, and I already see some questions from Hong Kong. Is there a GPA requirement to apply to EF pre-master course? Miss Soumya, would you advise on the GPA and how would you look into the master program with the student usually?
Thanks, Haya. As I mentioned during the slides, we do not ask that you come to us with a particular GPA. However, we will advise that you are realistic with your choices. So your GPA will impact your master's application much more than the bachelor's applications. So if you come with a second-class degree, we say, please look at universities which are going to accept you based on that. Or if you have a GPA of 3.5 plus or even 3.3 plus, amazing. We say, let's go out there and apply to all the top universities. So while there is no minimum requirement to apply to the pre-master's course, it will impact which universities we would suggest or advise you to apply to.
We also have a question from Vietnam. Do we need to have IELTS UKVI, which is for the visa, after the completion of pre-masters to apply for master degree? This is a yes. We will have IELTS preparation during our pre-masters and also pre-PhD program. So for our pre-master and pre-PhD program, we do not need a student visa. So you can have our own EFSET English test to test your English proficiency before coming to our pre-master and pre-PhD course. During the pre-PhD and pre-master course, teachers at EF will help you through your application to the IELTS exam, and we will have exam preparation with you where we will have at least IELTS 6.5 or 6.0 result for your IELTS UKVI. That would be used to apply for your master degree as well as the student visa that comes with it. So I also have a few questions for Soumya, representing Hong Kong. Would you say one of a few biggest benefit of coming to a pre-master program, and how would that be beneficial to Asian students specifically?
Oh, Asian students. I will tell you what, my experience with Asian students has been that they are extremely hardworking. They know what they want. They are very ambitious. Where they struggle with a little bit is writing. We help them to polish. I wouldn't say teach, but we polish references, making sure that they're able to read a wide variety of academic material and so on. The second challenge that Asian students face is participation in an international environment. I see them outside the classroom, they are laughing, enjoying, having fun. But when it comes to the classroom, they have amazing ideas, but sometimes they don't share them. And this is funny because this is the feedback I get from my daughter's teachers as well, that she doesn't speak during class. And for us, it's natural. Yes, we don't speak. I don't want her to sit in a class and speak to her friends rather than listening to the teacher. But in the UK, there is a culture where you have to participate, share ideas, and collaborate. And we help students to prepare for that.
So we also have a few questions. Is there any lead time for enrollment? So for enrollment, as mentioned, we have free intake every year. We have intake in January, April, and September. So usually student needs to have 1 year or at least 6 to 9 months prior time to enroll to your program and to prepare your residence, to ensure that you have a spot on the program, etc., etc. So we are now opening our last enrollment for our April 2025 pre-master and pre-doctoral program, and we are now accepting admission application to our September 2025 enrollment. If any student wish to join in any intake during the academic year 2025, please contact your program consultant in your own country that we can help to assess your transcript, your current English proficiency, and we can help you plan academically. So I also see another questions about the feed of the pre-PhD program. So the feed of the pre-PhD program is about, it depends on the country that you are at, but it is in a range of around £15,000 with accommodation, but please talk to your program consultant accordingly because we do have different feed due to the currency. Soumya, I also have a few questions on the application. So during our program, we apply with the student on their master degree. So as I know, in the UK, we usually have a window for the application. Which intake, the January, April, and September intake, would you advise, or how is the application timeline different for each intake, and which would be the best intake to join us?
Thank you. When you were answering the question from Wayne, that's what I was thinking. In my opinion, September intake is one of the best intakes because most universities, especially the top ones, the G5, Russell Group, they get full. So you want to be one of the first applicants. Like there is a student applying to Oxford, and I told her in October, you have to send it fast. That is why it is better to apply, start with us in September and apply in the term one so that you get the offer. However, if you ask me what's the best intake, I would say Jan, because the disadvantage of September is that you finish the pre-masters in February, and then you have to wait for the following September to enroll into the master's course. If you start with us in January, then you finish your pre-masters in June. You have enough time to go back to your country, look at the offers you have received, decide which one you want to go with, apply for the visa, book the accommodation. Nothing is a rush. So it's a very cool and calm intake. April is, I think, financially the best one because students join us in April, finish in August. Very short window to go back to your country, apply for the visa, get the accommodation, and come back. Sometimes even accommodation gets full. However, April is possible to still get places in very good universities, especially those in the QS top 100. I will say G5 may be full, but there will be places. Like the student who went to Glasgow, we got her a place in April, May. So this is how I look at the intakes. If you ask me the best one, it's January. September, definitely for those who want to apply for the top universities. And April, if you already feel confident with your English, you still want to take the chance. But remember, there is a very short window to get your documents in place. So as I said, if you are coming for the April intake, please let us know as soon as you can so that we can prepare from our end and support you as best as possible, if it makes sense.
Thank you. We also see some questions on the scholarship. So the scholarship in the UK, so we have different questions here. The scholarship for the master program and the funding for the pre-PhD program. Let's talk about the scholarship for the master program first. So the scholarship of the master program, I have a question here. Does it only reduce the tuition fees, or does it also cover the cost of dormitory or transportation? Usually in UK, how would the scholarship works?
In the UK, as you know, the costs are less than in the US. And the scholarship is usually applied to the tuition fees. However, if you apply early, you can get really good rates on transportation and dormitory, especially if you stay on campus. You will be having no transportation. Many students pick universities like Surrey, for example, because it's a campus university, but it's close to London. And it reduces the overall cost. So yeah, mostly tuition fees. The pre-PhD funding usually is other way around. It will include a scholarship that will also cover costs, other costs.
So which brings me to another very interesting point, is that in terms of the scholarship, I know that some of our partner university in the UK offer very attractive scholarship for our student in their master program. And even some of the university would provide funding for the PhD program. So Soumya, what got the top university, let's say for geoscience or maybe for computer science in the UK that you would suggest?
For computer science, I
Just
would
to
say
name a
if you
few.
are you only asking about scholarships?
Yeah.
Actually, there is a university I went to recently where I was pleasantly surprised by what they do, and that is Oxford Brookes. They are very close to the Oxford campus, very nice, and they offer very good discounts for all our students who apply in general, and they're really good at computer science. We also have Surrey, which is an upcoming university, and I love their campus. And again, really, really good for us with the requirements. Also good for the master's programs for computer science, AI, data science, machine learning, and so on. What was your other question? Business or health sciences?
Sciences in general.
Sciences, as you know, it depends a lot on the labs. Like when I go and visit a university, I was at Keele University this week. I will ask them to show me their labs and lab equipment. And yeah, Keele University is a very good choice. Again, they're in the north of England, so it will be much cheaper than studying around London. Another option is Leicester, which gives us very attractive scholarships and again, cheaper. So, very good choice. They have really good labs. Coventry has some of the very good labs for both engineering and applied science courses. I love their labs. They have a lab actually with an aeroplane in like their labs. So yeah, these are the universities I would say are really good for these subjects.
In terms of the application support and partner university, we know that I know that we often invite professors from different partner university to come to our EF campuses to speak with our students. So is there any interesting thing that you can share with us?
Actually, last week I was speaking to my school this morning before the call here. We had somebody from University of Bradford come to the campus and speak to the students about business today, business in a globalized world, how AI is impacting business and so on. And the UPM was telling me that the students' faces changed. Like they were so inspired, motivated by him. And they were like, when can we have him back again? So Bradford, great, they come and they give guest lectures. University of Exeter, another really, really good university for innovation, for sustainability. I love their programs and their campus. They will be there on the 24th of February to come and talk to our students. So we have frequent guest lecturers coming to our campuses and speaking to the students.
All right. Let's see if any of our student here has other questions for Soumya. If not, we will open the breakout rooms for you to discuss with your own country's program consultant, which in your own language. So you can feel free to ask any questions in your native language. So we will open the Q&A for a few minutes. If we don't have any questions, we will continue on with the breakout rooms. All right, let me open the breakout rooms and you guys can choose. Please feel free to choose your own country's breakout room accordingly. And if any of the student who has not already named your name with your country next to it, please do. So when we talk to you individually, we can know which country are you from. So I'll stop sharing now, and please kindly go to your breakout room. Thank you very much. Hello，大家好，我係 Haya，我想睇睇大家，稍等我一陣啊，我睇下其他同學仔係咪都成功入到佢哋自己嘅 breakout room 先。好，請稍等一陣。咁我今日咧都好榮幸地可以請到 Soumya 老師係 join 我哋嘅 breakout room，咁所以如果大家任何嘅問題都可以喺呢一個稍等我一陣啊，睇睇先，咁都可以 keep 住喺呢一個breakout room 入邊去問問題啦，咁樣咁我都睇睇 Soumya 老師會唔會 join 我哋呢個 breakout room 先。稍等陣。Recording in progress. So we have the privilege of having Soumya in our Hong Kong breakout rooms. Is there any question that you guys would like to ask specifically on the pre-PhD program or the pre-master program? I've seen some of the students asking for a scholarship for our pre-master program. So for the Hong Kong student, we are now running a scholarship, EF scholarship program for our EF pre-master, pre-PhD program. So we are now offering a $15,000 Hong Kong dollar scholarship to subsidize our pre-master program. You can choose for, so we do offer the pre-master program in Manchester and also in Oxford, but I would recommend students joining the January 2025 and April 2025 intake to join us at the Oxford campus. So at Oxford, we do have a very generous nationality mix where you can meet all students, and you can also choose to stay on campus where you will be placed in a single, twin, or multi-room with your international friends and students, and you can first experience the international student life。咁大家如果有任何嘅問題都可以隨時開咪用廣東話問咁樣，咁我哋都可以即係問翻 Soumya 老師，咁我哋都可以做一個 translation。咁如果大家有任何嘅問題都可以 please feel free，唔需要怕醜嘅咁樣係啦。有冇任何嘅問題想問呢？